Hi, I'm Sergeant Brandon Paris of the Westland Police Department's Traffic Bureau. We've been receiving numerous complaints over the past couple of years of drivers passing school buses, whether they're dropping off children in the morning or picking them up in the afternoon. We've got a lot of complaints from parents and bus drivers all around the area, whether it's Livonia Public Schools or the Wayne Westland Public Schools or any other district in our city. Last year alone, the Westland Police Department issued nearly 200 citations for people illegally passing school buses. When the yellow lights come on, you need to make sure that you're slowing down, getting ready to stop for those buses. And especially when the red flashing lights go on and the stop sign is activated, you have to stop on both sides of the road unless there's a median or barrier in between. So come on out with us today. We're going to see if we can educate some of the drivers throughout the city and try to solve this issue that we're having. We're still out here on Warren Road checking other intersections for the Livonia Public Schools. Red flashing lights are on. That driver just went across here. We're going to have about 3 or 4. Kevin, if you can grab that tracks. If you want to cut them all off, we got 4 of them. Option, you want to come down? You can throw them all in one. You know why I stopped you?
No.
Did you see the school bus with the red flashing lights and the stop sign out?
Yeah, I was right behind the car.
All 4 of you guys went through it. All right, like I said, you got to stop on both sides of the roadway with the red flashing lights and stop signs out, okay? All right, let me check in a couple things. I'll be back in 1 minute, okay? So Officer Cullum has 2 vehicles stopped up there a little ways away, and Officer Plofkin behind us has another vehicle stopped. So we had total 4 cars that went through the same bus stop here on Warren Road. My driver said that he was just following the car in front of him, and that's one of the things that we hear, that they're just not paying attention. They need to be scanning side to side when you're driving down the road, and there's really no excuse not to pay attention. Just because somebody else is going through the intersection or past a school bus doesn't mean that you should too. All 4 drivers that we got stopped here will be getting a citation for failing to stop for the school bus. The fine for Westland at this point is $215 for failing to stop for the school bus. We shouldn't be having to write this many tickets, but I said this gentleman will be one of many that have been getting them lately. All right, sir. They asked us to keep an eye on the area with the school buses. You got to stop on both sides of the street unless there's a median or a barrier. All 4 drivers definitely got to stop and make sure they were paying attention to that. That's what the ticket's going to be for today. All right, you got to contact the Westland Police or Westland Court about it within 3 to 14 business days. All right, if you have any questions, just contact them, okay? All right, I'll hold the lane right here so you can get out into traffic safely, okay? All right, you all set? Be careful.
The school buses it's a safety issue, and our officers have told us lately that people are not stopping, or they're not stopping completely when the school buses pull over and let the kids off the bus or have them get on the bus. There's our stiff penalties for this offense because it is a safety issue for our children. There is a fine of $215. In addition, it's 3 points on your driving record.
And even worse, if somebody's injured while running a school bus, they can be charged with a 1-year misdemeanor. Additionally, if there's a death involved in this situation, is a 15-year felony. So make sure that you stop for the school buses and protect the kids.
And one thing, too, I think people don't realize is that even on a 5-lane highway like Ford Road, a busy road like Ford Road, that you have to stop for the school bus. Even if you're going eastbound and the school bus stopped going westbound, you still have to stop. So always remember, when you see that school bus pulled over with the red lights flashing, that means that they're either loading or unloading. You have to stop.
You know why I stopped you?
No, I don't.
Did you see the school bus with the big flashing lights and the stop sign?
Because there's a median that applied to the one side only.
Nope, unless there's a median in between, a cement barrier.
I was not aware of that.
She'll be getting a ticket for failing to stop for the school bus because that and another car that's stopped behind me got pulled over at the same thing, doing the same thing going the opposite way, you still got to stop on both sides of the street. The red flashing lights and the stop sign. All right, ma'am. We're out here because the bus drivers and the parents are asking us to be out here and make sure the kids are safe. You got to stop on both sides of the roadway. If the red flashing lights are out, stop sign's out, okay? You and the other driver both passed by it, still going the opposite way. You do have to stop on both sides, okay? That's what the ticket's going to be for today. You got to contact the Westland Court about it within 3 to 14 business days, okay? If you got any questions, you got to contact them, okay? All right, you all set? Be careful, all right? Unfortunately, this is happening daily. We've got over 100 main road stops throughout the city, whether it's Livonia Public Schools and Wayne Westland Schools. The past 2 weeks of September, we actually, as a department, wrote 46 citations in a 2-week span. It's not much of an excuse for any of these drivers to be missing a big yellow bus on the side of the road with flashing lights. We got to make sure that our kids are safe. The main excuse that we get on these is that people just didn't know what the law was. They thought that if they're going the opposite way of the bus, that they don't have to stop for that bus if it's a center turn lane or if it's the opposite side of the street. But in reality, state law does require that you stop on both sides of the roadway. If the yellow lights are on, you need to slow down. And if the red flashing lights are on and stop sign's out, you definitely got to stop. But that's the main excuse, is that they just didn't know what the law was. That's why we're going to be out here today educating drivers on it. So the fine for failing to stop for a school bus violation can be up to $500. There are other fines that are worse than that. Matter of fact, they can range up to the level of careless driving and reckless driving. Overall, people don't want to be paying $500 in fines and court costs, but we need to educate these drivers. You know why I stopped you? You know why I stopped you? You know why I stopped you? You got to stop on both sides of the street unless there's a median or a barrier. You do have to stop on both sides of the roadway if the red flashing lights and the yellow lights are out. You got to stop on both sides of the roadway if the red flashing lights are out. Stop sign's out, okay? Yeah, you got to stop on both sides unless there's a median in between. You got to stop on both sides of the roadway when the red flashing lights and stop sign's out, okay? That's what the ticket's going to be for today. That's what the ticket's going to be for today. That's what the ticket's going to be for today. That's what the ticket's going to be for today. You got to contact the Westland Court about it within 3 to 14 business days, and if you got any questions, contact them, okay? You also just make sure you drive safe, all right? So you've just witnessed the issues that we do have with these school bus stops. In just under 4 hours of footage, we issued 14 citations for people going the same way, going the opposite way of these school buses when they got the red flashing lights and the stop sign out. Obviously, it's a continuing problem that we have. We're still going to be enforcing these issues. We want education. That's why we thank Westland Communications for coming out and riding with us, trying to get that word out. I'd also like to thank my officers in our Traffic and Community Police Office, Officer Aldini, Officer Cullum, and Officer Plofton for helping us during this time. 14 tickets in under 4 hours is just not acceptable. We need to do better as a community. We need to make sure that our kids are safe, and throughout the city of Westland, throughout the state, throughout the country, we need to get the word out, make sure that everyone's safe moving forward. Thank you.